And welcome live inside the DETV Wilmington studios. It's Red October, everyone. Welcome back into DETV Sports. Whole crew is here. Dennis behind the glass running the show. Jason McCall, Matthew Maurer, and Nick Alcindrini ready to recap NFL Week 5. We're going to preview, of course, Monday Night Football getting kicked off here in just a little while. We're going to talk stock up, stock down on some of these NFL teams after what we saw and what they put out on the field yesterday. We're going to talk about Davante Adams, where he should end up or where he should go here shortly as the trade deadline here in about a month. And then Bronny debut for the Lakers here over the weekend. NBA season just around the corner. Also had a chance to check out Karl Anthony Towns and Mikal Bridges for the first time with the New York Knicks in that blue and orange upstate. So, guys, how we doing? Jason McCall, big weekend for you here this weekend in Dover. Dell State homecoming. Tell everybody about that weekend.
Man. Best homecoming on earth. BHO, as we call it now. Delaware State University's homecoming. The campus was at full capacity. Having the last 2 years, it was an incredible experience. I was able to share it with my son. So my son was on the yard with me at homecoming. Had him in a homecoming parade as I marched in with the DSUAA, floating and stuff. So just having him there with me, and of course my wife, everybody. Shout out to all the DSUAA members and just the band members, Band Affinity, what I'm president of. And it was just a great time, man, seeing family and friends and just enjoying the atmosphere. And like I said, having the chance to enjoy that with my son. His first time on campus ever was this weekend. So it was like a surreal moment. But just really overjoyed and had a great game this weekend. The Ravens come back. We'll talk about it later on, but good weekend overall, man. See, my voice is kind of gone from this weekend, but all in all, great times, man. Just looking forward to what's on tap for tonight.
There you go, big game. We're going to talk about that. Monday Night Football coming up in just a little bit. Matthew, how you doing? Big weekend consisted of, we got what, NCAA football, some NBA's back now, the NFL. Busy weekend for you. How was it?
It's trash, man. The boys lost. It is what it is. Other than that, it's time for NBA. So
it's right around the corner.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm gonna see what these Phils do.
That's a good point.
Yeah, man.
Big week. Big
Bryce
week
Harper.
coming up.
It's time to put your name on that list, bro. Just saying. Get it done.
I like that. We're going to show that a little bit later after some big-time hits from Bryce coming up here in the playoffs.
Mets.
Cannot wait. Oh, man. See, you're going to do
it.
Yeah. You can't even. Man, I don't do that to his. It is what it is. But we're going to get Matthews.
Some stuff like that.
We're going to also get Matthews' opinion. He's going to have this one-camera shot here to talk a little bit about Bronny James coming up a little bit later. So you do not want to miss that as well, guys. But let's start, of course, with Week 5 in the NFL. And, Jason, we are going to start with one of the best games, in the game you referenced here already. The Ravens beat the Bengals, a thriller in Cincinnati, overtime 41-38. Lamar Jackson looking like that two-time MVP, potentially maybe three-time after what we saw yesterday, if you can keep that up. 354 touchdowns, 55 yards on the ground for Lamar Jackson. Of course, him and the duo of Derrick Henry continue to dominate the rush game of the NFL. 15 for 92 and a touchdown. Ravens offense, Jason, 520 yards. They picked up 30 first downs in this game. So we knew what we're going in about that Bengals defense. We knew it was probably going to be a shootout depending if the Bengals offense could pick it up. They certainly did. We saw that at a Joe Burrow. Just a fun stat here for you, Jason. Derrick Henry became the third player over the age of 30 with 500-plus rushing yards and 5-plus rushing touchdowns in the first 5 games of the season. Joins only 2 of my favorite running backs of all time, Curtis Martin and Priest Holmes, the only other guys to do that. So, Jason, let's get your initial takeaway here. A shootout, a field goal as time expires, a field goal in overtime to get the victory. Initial takeaways for you.
Well, shout out to Priest Holmes. Started off in Baltimore with the Ravens, just saying.
Got a jersey at home.
Yeah, Priest Holmes. I had a Priest Holmes Ravens jersey, so, just my guy. Always will be. But, great game, a shootout. But you saw some glaring holes in the Ravens secondary. That's what needs to be addressed immediately, to be honest. You don't want to have to be in shootouts, but the Ravens finally have the offense where if we're down, we can actually come back. We haven't really had that type of offense before to come back in games. Normally, when the Ravens are down 10 to 14 points, kind of can chalk it up. But now we have the offense where we trust Lamar's arm fully and the weapons that we have, and we're able to come back, and exactly what happened. 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. Almost had a costly fumble that gave away the game, but we pulled it out, and we won the game. And I've never seen Evan McPherson miss a field goal.
I
like
was,
that.
leading up to that kick, I said, guys, it doesn't matter. And I would have never ran the ball 3 straight times there.
Yeah,
anyway,
they were playing too safe. So that
absolutely ridiculous.
That hurt them. But
I still thought he would make that again. He is one of, if not probably one of the best kicker in the league, but in terms of clutch moments.
no, he's top 3.
He's
He's definitely top 3 kicker in the league.
Clutch in the league in terms of situation.
He's top 3 in the league. I would say currently, if I had to rank 3 kickers right now, it would be McPherson, Aubrey. I would put Tucker at 3 only because he's missing so many 50-yarders in the last 2 seasons. But I think they are the top 3 kickers in the NFL. Those 3
and
guys.
I throw Bucker in there at 4, just so you
Y'all tripping.
But yeah, Coon. Oh well, I mean he's 4. Young Way,
Yeah, I'm all about Young Way. Yeah.
But I'll say this.
Shout out to Moody.
I'll say this. The Bengals. I was calling Dennis before the show started. The Bengals always have a receiver every 4 or 5 years that the Ravens just can't stop. So this is just what it is. They had TJ and Chad.
Yeah, that was a heck of a
AJ Green used to torture us.
Some good guys.
And
man.
now it's
Jamar.
Jamar Chase. So there's a lineage of receivers that the Ravens can't stop with the Bengals. But we let them get their yards. We usually end up winning the game still. I want to say Lamar's like either 8-1 or 9-1 all time against Cincinnati now in his career. But this is more indicative of the Ravens just having the will to win. But we know that the Bengals' defense is trash.
It might be. I mean, it's been bad maybe sometimes in the past. They pick it up once you get near the playoffs. Through the first 5 games, they're giving up 32 points a game. It's the worst.
But they also lost Dax Hill during the game, their best.
So it's only going to get worse.
Best corner. So I mean, after that, Ravens had a field day. But I told you guys the Bengals would be bad this year. I said in the offseason. I said they would probably finish last in the division. I knew this was coming. So I said it. So, but enough about this game. And really, I mean, Ravens best team in football. I wouldn't say that just yet. I would say they're probably the scariest team in football right now, but not the best yet. You have to win
because of the defense, right?
Probably another couple more games for me to make that claim.
Well, let me ask you this, Matthew. What do you think about the Ravens' performance? Obviously, a slow start there. Maybe they had to play the Chiefs in Week 1. They played some good quarterbacks through the start to the season for Baltimore. Looked good again yesterday. How confident are you in the Ravens going forward? Do you think they should be up there, the top 2-3 teams in the league? Maybe the best?
For sure. One of the top 2 teams. I said top 2. I wouldn't even put them 3. I think they're that good. I will say this, and this is kind of what I think the biggest problem with the modern NFL is the Bengals. This is kind of what you get when you are too scared to let your QB ball. And I'm saying this, and people ain't gonna like to hear this, but so you guys wanted to keep Higgins. You guys completely ignored the defense for years. You've been going after offensive weapons, O-linemen, and you should because Burrow can't run like that. But this is what happens in the modern NFL. When your QB is taking up $40, $50 million of that salary, elite weapons at every position at offense, it's just not possible. And I say this with Brock Purdy. I'm going to say this with Jalen Hurts. At some point, these guys are going to have to win with guys that people normally wouldn't want to win with on offense. It's just part of the game now. And I see Lamar can do that. I see Mahomes can do that. I don't see many other guys in the league that can do that. Not yet.
Maybe Herbert.
Maybe Herbert. Maybe Allen at
times.
And
they didn't win. I would say Allen Herbert.
But I'm just saying, like, this is the new NFL. You can't sit there and say, I'm going to load up on wideouts. I'm going to load up on tight ends. I'm going to load up on running backs. We're going to take all our draft picks on, which is why I told people years ago that the quarterback that can extend plays is way more valuable than the pocket QB because you don't have to go with the first 3 rounds and take an O-lineman every draft. You're going to have to do that if you get a guy that's sitting in that pocket because age, free agency, you're going to constantly have to keep that offensive line fresh, and Philly knows what I'm talking about. And that's part of the issue. So, yeah, the Bengals was trash, and it's deservingly so. And I love you, Isaiah Likely, beast. Yeah, he made that one catch when Lamar extended the play.
Oh, that That best play of the year so far. Yes,
Yeah, I
that
agree with that.
was
Stiff arm, was that the stiff arm play? Where he stiff
no,
arm, what did
he
he
yeah,
say?
he
stiff arm
pushed-
Hubbard,
that was the one.
incredible
That was
play.
tough.
Likely has the athleticism to out jump most guys in that end zone. I mean, it was incredible, and that's what I'm saying. Like, no one wanted Likely a couple years ago. I mean, he was like, I think, a 4th or 5th round draft pick.
Yeah.
From I want to say, was it
Coastal
Carolina? That's what I'm saying. Like, that's what you got to do in this era of the NFL, and with the salary caps and the way that things are. Look, you can load up offensive line all you want. You can load up the offense all you want. You can just stop people.
And do you guys know who his quarterback was at Coastal Carolina?
No, go ahead,
It
shoot.
was Grayson McCall. So he used to he's the quarterback running around instead of plays. He used to play with that style of quarterback.
There you go. Yeah,
Like,
makes sense.
He's been doing that since he was in college.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, Ravens are looking pretty good. Again, Likely gets in the end zone twice. We have a Kohler in the end zone sighting. But again, Mark Andrews getting 60% or less than 60% of those snaps. Did have some nice catches, though,
Did have nice
in
catches.
that game.
Clutch catches.
So Mark
time.
Andrews this year is more of a decoy and a blocking tight end, which is okay.
Yeah, absolutely. When you got, especially you got 3 of them.
Because I know that he'll be healthy come playoff time.
And again, Ravens.
And I am okay with that. Now, fancy owners, I'm sorry, including myself, but I think he's going to show up.
Agreed.
Latter half of the season.
And again, Ravens run a lot of that 12 personnel, so two tight ends on the field a lot of those times when that offense is out there. Dennis, do we have the video of Lamar Jackson, some of those guys eating dinner on a Saturday night ahead of the Sunday game? I don't know if you guys saw this clip. They were in Cincinnati, and this is a fan engaging with Lamar Jackson in the Ravens.
Oh, boy.
No.
Describe it for you guys then here in a second, but we'll see if we can get that up here at least in a few minutes, maybe potentially. That's why we should have these. We should all get here to have some pre-show meetings every once in a while.
Pre-show
So that's all
meetings.
All right, well, let's keep it rolling then and roll with into the London game here on 9:30 a.m. Guys, get your coffee there on a Sunday morning. You guys able to check out that game in London?
I did.
I did.
So let's talk about it then. The Vikings, they stay undefeated. Didn't look as good as they've looked through the first 4 weeks, but they get the job done overseas. 23-17, the Vikings over the Jets in London. Jets now at 2-3. It's the first time in Aaron Rodgers' career that he's under 500 through 5 starts, or at least the first time since 2012. They were 11-5 that year. I believe that was the relax year where they ended up making the playoffs. Sam Darnold, worst game of the season for him, 14 of 31, 179 yards, had that pick. Justin Jefferson looks good as always, 6 catches, 92 yards. Aaron Jones had to leave this game with a hip injury. His status to be determined. They do have a bye week next week, so looking good if you're an Aaron Jones fantasy owner. At least you got over a week to prepare there. But guys, Rodgers, 29, threw the ball 54 times in this game. Not a recipe for success. 244 yards, 2 touchdowns, had 3 interceptions, some big ones. Garrett Wilson with 22 targets in this one game. Did have 13 catches for 100 yards in his score there. But you got to see both of these teams go at it. It was a little bit ugly at times there in London. Vikings stay undefeated. Didn't look as good as we thought or as good as they did for the first 4 games. Jets go down again. They're below 500. They looked pretty bad offensively, especially 13 penalties, though I disagree with a lot of them on defense. What are your guys' takeaways from the Vikings and the Jets? Matthew, start with you here and pick either one. Vikings or the Jets, what stood out to you, and what did you learn more about which team?
I learned without Aaron Jones, the Vikings are going to – Sam Darnold doesn't have the same throws. I mean, he needs defenses to key on Jones. I think Jones was – you could definitely see his value in that offense. And I'm going to say this, and people may not like to hear this as well, but I think Aaron Rodgers, Aaron, I don't know, man. He ain't looking like that guy.
Are you trying to say he's cooked? What do you think?
If he ain't cooked, he's definitely al dente. he getting close, man.
And we sat up here at the desk at our preseason show for relatively quickly this year though for the AFC East, and you guys, all of us were relatively high on the Jets. I don't think we all anticipated them being this bad, at least offensively.
No.
And I'll stay with you, Matt, for this one again. Breece Hall has been abysmal in this offense, guys. I believe under 3 yards per carry so far. I mean, that is completely on the opposite end of the spectrum from where we saw this going. What worries you about the Jets? Is it all on Rodgers? Like, if Rodgers isn't as good as we thought he was going to play for the Jets, is that kind of where we draw the line? Are they?
Yeah.
It's not going to be as good of a team. I think they put too much into that.
Yeah, I think they put everything into Rodgers being. I mean, for years, this was the argument about the Jets, that they had the defense, that they had key guys like Garrett Wilson, like Breece Hall. The argument was, look at our QB. We had Zach Wilson. We don't have the same guys. If we just get that quarterback piece, we got a chance. And I don't know, man. This doesn't look like they've addressed either Aaron Rodgers is still struggling to get his foot into that offense, which I don't think is the case. I saw a lot of throws that didn't look comfortable making.
He looked really bad in this game.
And stop feeding
chomping
Lazard,
at the
bro.
bit.
Stop
and he,
feeding
I
Lazard,
think
bro.
5 drops for him. I mean, some
Yeah.
huge drops. But on those interceptions, Jason, from Aaron Rodgers, I mean, he had time on some of them. Some of them were disguised coverages that he just didn't even see. The Van Kinkel touchdown was just, a disguise from Brian Flores defensively. They dropped him back out of the edge rusher. Didn't even see him, picked it off. The throw to Lazard on the overthrow was one of the worst throws I've seen all year. I mean, he did not look sharp at all. I don't even want to say that. He looked plain right bad in this game. Your takeaways from Jets-Vikings?
Aaron Rodgers is completely cooked.
Cook and bliss. There we go. There it is, completely cooked.
No, because
and go ahead. I know you asked you a
because
question.
we're talking about a 40-year-old quarterback who's coming off an Achilles injury. He can't plant. He already couldn't move the last couple years before that, but now with coming back from Achilles injury, he's still playing safe football. And at 40, you can't do that. He cannot plant, and his arm is actually dead too. People don't realize that that's not the same arm we saw 5 years ago.
I mean, I don't think it's not done for, but I mean, some of those throws that he was missing.
he got the Peyton Manning Denver arm right now.
Oh, I don't know about that's a bad arm there.
He's not. I'm not gonna say that far, but I know what Jason's talking. He's not hitting those windows.
Oh,
as
no.
tight as
Okay,
he used to.
You're right. That's a
He's
good way
Drew
to
Brees'
describe it,
last
but
couple years
he's
in
not-
New Orleans arm. Like Drew Brees' last year in New Orleans.
Yeah.
He's still got a
He couldn't-
little zip. Like he was
couldn't
able to
throw,
get some of
like,
those balls.
You
to
have
the
zip for
sideline.
the first half of the game, and
Yeah.
after that, it was like, okay,
It did tail off.
velocity is coming down
Right.
every quarter.
Yeah.
And sometimes it kind of looked like he wanted to overcompensate, and some of those
And
balls sailed
the thing
on.
is this: they're trying to please Garrett Wilson too much.
Yep.
And especially after what he said in the
You
media earlier in
have
the week.
a running back who can take over the game at any given moment. Brees Hall is a home run hitter. You have to
thought
feed,
he was.
No, he is. If you feed him the ball enough, he's like a young Doug Henry. You give him carries, you give him volume. He can break a 6 or 7 yarder every now and
And
again.
again, I was a big Brees Hall fan at Iowa State. I'm a big Brees Hall fan the last 2 years, Matthew, just what he's been able to do. But this year, they are supposed to improve the offensive line. The Jets did in the offseason. It was atrocious, one of the worst in the last 2 years. It's been okay, not great again, even this year with the additions. But you look at Brees Hall's stats coming in here for so far this year, averaging just 3 yards a carry, has just 2 touchdowns. 2 fumbles, did lose one. I mean, not using as much in the passing game as they did last year. Braylon Allen has been a more effective runner, at least in terms of yards per carry, and obviously not going to go there yet. But the Jets' offense stuck in the mud a little bit again, and we talk about Nathaniel Hackett, and this is where I'm coming from. Nathaniel Hackett with the Broncos, one of the worst teams we had ever seen that year. Offense, one of the worst we've ever seen. And I get it, Aaron Rodgers likes Nathaniel Hackett. This offense is out of date. They're running the same offense they ran with the Packers 10 years ago. There's no motion. It's just everything. Aaron Rodgers wants to go up, spread them out, go pre-snap, and see if he can just find some windows, and that's not going to work. You have to scheme guys open in the NFL now. They are not doing that with the Jets.
They're giving Aaron Rodgers too much deference. That's the problem. Because he's a player, I'm going to say it again, he's like, not bashing this player, but he's like LeBron. You can't really coach him. You got to let him run the team on his own, and you got to
That's a good comparison.
You got to rise or fall with them. So that's what this is. Aaron Rodgers has too much autonomy. Like, he can't be coached.
And again, he did acknowledge that he played poorly this week.
And I think that's the problem also is Brees Hall. They clearly are not using him consistently. I mean, if you look at his carries, they're all over the place. He hasn't hit 20 carries in any games. He's got 2 games where he's around
15,
close to 9 to 10.
Yeah, the last 2 weeks.
I mean, you got a guy who, and people may not like to hear this because Brees Hall had a lot of hype going in, but he's always been a guy that get a 2-yard loss and then next play he's got a 40-yard game.
Yeah.
He's always been that kind of back. He's not a Jamal Charles where he gets 12 carries and has 100 yards. He's never been a uber. He takes the shots that he gets, but when he does, he's going to extend the play. And that's the thing. They give him hardly any carries, and then they expect him to have great numbers. I just don't see how he can do it at this
And
point.
again, it's the offense. Going back, for me, it's Nathaniel Hackett and Aaron Rodgers kind of with, again, the same scheme. I'm just not a fan of it. We'll see if they can fix that going forward. But if not, the offense looking like it's a little stuck in the mud and obviously out of date here.
And they have old linebackers now. Nobody wants to talk about that.
We'll see what happens. The Jets defense did play a little bit better there against the Ravens, but they're going to have to play a hell of a lot better the rest of the season unless the offense picks it up quickly. We mentioned the video earlier from the Lamar Jackson marathon. I believe we have that clip for you now. Everyone at home, if Dennis wants to run that, it's Lamar here ahead of the game against Cincinnati the night before.
He's uncomfortable.
Hey, the bingo! Beat your ass tomorrow.
What team? Gonna be her fault too. What team? It's her fault. What team? It's her fault. What team gonna beat us?
Hooday, the bingo!
So that lady, a little buzzed up, I would assume, at dinner, had stumbled upon the Ravens in Cincinnati. She walked over and she said the Bengals, and we're, let's say explicits here on this show here on DETV, so we're going to kick your ass tomorrow. And they said, who? Tell him who. And she said, who dat? The Bengals. And Lamar said, it's going to be your fault.
Yeah.
It's going to be your fault. And it was that lady's fault. Now everybody in Cincinnati can blame her for what the Ravens did to the Bengals yesterday in overtime. So we talked about that. We hit London. And now let's go to the revenge game for Stephon Diggs. The Texans able to walk it off. A 59-yard field goal after some questionable time management by the Bills on the previous possession gives the Texans a 3-point victory in this game. No Joe Mixon for the Texans in that one, just Cam Akers and Ogunbowale, who we can reference here a little bit later, runs in the family there. Nico Collins, number 1 wide receiver in terms of yardage in the NFL, had to leave this game early on. Matthew, did you have him too?
No, but I do got some smoke.
Oh, well, you know what? I'm going to stop this intro to this game, and let's give camera 3 on Matthew here one-on-one. I want to hear this one.
Last year, when I said C.J. Stroud is on par with Josh Allen, I had people in the comments gave me major pushback. Oh, you're crazy. You're tripping. Am I that far off now? Are you starting to see what's developing down there in the Texans? Did you see the throw and then did you see it?
Yeah, that was tough.
Did you see it? Maybe now you can start to see the difference between us up here and some of you guys out there. And I'm not talking trash; it's just the facts. We read the tea leaves before the tea's been brewed. So we trying to tell y'all early that's a guy. Now maybe you can believe us when we tell you that Stroud is a guy. I'm not saying anything bad about Josh Allen, but when I did make that conversation last year, people were like, no, that's crazy. He's just going crazy. All right, now how do apples taste? Because I know what I saw.
And to Matthew's point, it's the Texans now, guys, 4-1 after that victory, and have yet to really play a complete game. They played, okay, I think, in those 5 games, and they're 4-1.
Yeah.
I think that's scary here for the Houston Texans. I think D'Amico Ryans has done a great job so far. They've had injuries. Now they lose Nico Collins, the best receiver in the NFL, or at least so far this year, in my opinion. So they lose Mixon, they lose Collins early on. The offense struggled in the second half without a lot of those playmakers, but they turned it on when they needed to. CJ with some big passes late once again. Back-to-back weeks where Stroud and the Texans able to walk things off, basically, and get these victories.
With a 59-yarder at that.
Worst passing game of Josh Allen's career, 9 of 30 for 130 yards in a touchdown. No Khalil Shakir. We'll see if that hurt him. Not a lot of weapons for him over there in Buffalo, but got to play better than that. So I'm going to ask you 2 things, Jason. Obviously, you got something you want to say first.
No.
Well, I want to hear that first before maybe it's already what I'm going to ask.
You can't throw the ball 30 times like that. Like 9 for 30. That's piss poor. Like that's like and those are Josh Allen overthrows. He's good for about 4 or 5 of those a game. Let's be honest.
And again, they were outgained, guys, 425 to 276, and it was just a 3-point game. So not sure how they were able to hang in this one, but the Bills were able to do it. Let's talk about the time management late in the game, Jason. They get the ball back. The Bills do with about, I want to say, 45 seconds. They throw the ball 3 straight times, save that clock. They give the ball back to CJ, and then they ended there late in Houston. Thoughts on that, and let's just kind of expand this conversation to Sean McDermott. And obviously, he's been there for some time now. They haven't been able to get over the hump. I will give him credit with the defense. The defense really hasn't had a lot of stars over the years, but it's always been solid, so you can attribute that. He runs the defense. But another critical time management mistake late in this ball game that cost them a victory.
this is who Sean McDermott is as a coach. Like, why are we surprised?
So, well, let me ask this then. If you say we aren't surprised, maybe expected it, is he on the hot seat at all after these couple years? I know they've been playing well to start the season, and last year he was kind of on it when they went through that skid.
He should be on the hot seat because you're about to waste Josh Allen's prime. Yeah, he should be on the hot seat. For me, he would be, because you have a quarterback who was consistently top 5, top 10 every season, but
top 3 every season.
But you have nothing. I'm not gonna go top 3. We're not doing that.
I think it's Mahomes, Lamar, and Josh Allen.
But he has nothing to show for it. What does he have to show for it?
Are you talking about McDermott and the Bills and Allen?
Yeah, and Allen. What do they have to show for it?
Nothing.
Not a single thing. And then you pay him money. So back to Matt's point about quarterbacks are supposed to make everyone else better if you're claiming that they're generational talents. I haven't seen Josh Allen do that yet.
Did it through the first 3 weeks of the year.
But the problem is this: it's the offense, and not from a personnel standpoint. Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson are quarterbacks who run the ball to set up the pass. This is the problem that Buffalo is having. If you're not letting Josh Allen run the ball, you're trying to make him a pocket quarterback, which we've been talking about ad nauseum. If you try to make people pocket passers who aren't national pocket passers 100% of the time, then you're stifling their game and you're closing passing lanes, because when he runs the ball, they back off, and then you're able to get the one-on-one matchups over the middle and then over the top. And that's what Buffalo's not doing, because Josh Allen is running the ball. You don't want him to run the ball all the time, but you just run and scare.
I think he should be running,
set up the pass.
I think he should have at least 6 to 10 carries a game.
If they truly had a RPO option with Josh Allen and James Cook, you would see Shakir open more. You would see Keon Coleman open more. He had a great touchdown, by the way, this weekend.
Yeah, he made.
But you would see more of that, and that's the problem right now. Josh Allen's not running the ball, so this is what you're going to get consistently from Buffalo until Josh Allen starts running the ball again.
And again, we'll see how the defense does. But Matthew, or at least the bright spot, at least for me watching the Bills for the first 5 weeks of the year, has been James Cook. I think he looks phenomenal.
That's great.
With that offensive line. Once again, 20 carries, again, the ball 82 yards, had that score yesterday, a couple catches in the passing game. So he scored, I believe, 5 touchdowns through 5 weeks. The running game has been helping him out, but they're going to have to figure something else out if they want to win some games. What did you take away here from this one?
I mean, everything that Jason said, everything that you said, I mean, it's pretty easy. I will say this, the biggest fear about the Texans, and if you're fantasy, Cam Akers was like basically put on an island for a couple years with the Rams. He did not get along with the coaching staff. They let go of him. The last 2 games, he's averaging about 4.5 per carry, 50 yards per game. This is a kid that everybody liked coming out of college, out of Florida State. Everybody thought he was a potential starting running back. They got him on a discount deal. If he's starting to get this kind of a carry production,
mixing together,
it's going to be nasty.
Again, especially if Mixon doesn't get healthy here. That ankle injury seems to be lingering, so we'll see if that going forward, because Mixon was unbelievable at this offense in the first couple of weeks, and Akers been really carrying his load as well here for the Texans going forward. But as I said before, they have not played a complete game yet. They are 4-1. That's scary for the AFC with these Texans going forward. Matthew, we're not going to jump to your 49ers just because we have to here. A late field goal for Ryland. Is this one a matchup out there in the NFC West? The Cardinals down them 24-23. Kyler Murray, a big touchdown in the first half, 195, a touchdown and interception, but they ran for 169 yards as a team. 49ers are a little bit banged up, but 3 turnovers here in this game that cost them. 49ers scored 0 points in the second half, marking the first time in Brock Purdy's career that the team was shut out in the second half of a game. Matthew, the Niners are 2-3. We're only 5 games into the season. Where is your panic meter, if at all, in any panic here so far?
I mean, I think we're still a playoff team, but I didn't have us going deep into the playoffs. I said we weren't going to be back to the Super Bowl. I mean, honestly, this is about what I expected. I mean, not having Christian McCaffrey. And look, this has been the argument with Brock Purdy for a little while now. But, I mean, look, honestly, looking at the team, I don't think it's all Brock Purdy.
Yeah, I agree.
I have been highly irritated with the staff there, with especially the back office. I do not think we addressed our issues. I mean, for example, and I'm not taking a slight at him because I know he's had some personal hardships, but we didn't need a wideout in the first round. We needed an O-line or we needed defensive back play. And what are we getting hurt on? O-line and defensive back play. And I'm not even saying a draft pick might have done the job, but we should at least swung for the fences and try to fix it. Whether this guy was not injured or whatever happened, we were still going to be good at wideout. We got three. We arguably have probably one of the three best wideout groups.
Yeah.
And
No doubt.
we didn't need to take this kid at the first round. This kid was not that generational of a talent at where we picked him to go for that. This is our GM once again going out trying to be smart. And this time we don't have a guy in the second day that we drafted that's going to save us. So we got some things we got to figure out. We got to figure out the right side of that offensive line because the left is good. We got a good left guard and we have a good left tackle. But the right, we're in trouble. And then on the defensive back play, I mean, look, we got murdered in the Super Bowl because we got walked down and we couldn't stop. And like this has been the same issue. And I gotta say this too. Even though I didn't like the loss, I am happy for Kyler Murray because he's starting to show people and remind people why he was a prospect. And then you had the jokes about him not being an academic when it comes to football and everything else. So I didn't like the character attacks on him. So I am happy that he's seeing some success on the field, and I'm happy that that he's continuing to push play and remind people of the talent that he has.
Is, yeah. And just to piggyback off of that, that throw that he made to Bob Harrison Jr. to get the ball downfield late, that was like just a video game. Just throw in the air, I hope you catch it, and he caught it.
Yep.
But this is more on the Niners defense than it is on the Cardinals offense. Like you said, they can't really stop anybody right now, and it was not the defensive secondary hasn't been addressed for about 5-6 years in San Fran Browns. It's like you picked up an old Richard Sherman.
And again, during that time,
Jimmy Ward,
about 3 years ago, I think Ward had a great year that year. I think it was
1
3
year.
years ago. Yeah, Travis Ward, and then after that, it's been hard.
And so they haven't really drafted well.
And Ufunga got hurt again yesterday.
Yep.
I had to leave that game. So
Yeah, he's done. Who?
Yeah,
He's done.
2 back-to-back
Unfortunately,
seasons.
Who's done?
Ufunga. He's gone.
Oh yeah. And but honestly, this game was so close that really the biggest difference was that Mason fumble.
Yeah, that was it.
Like that was it.
And again,
But,
and speaking of which, just quickly, we have just got breaking news in here. Word is now out on Rashee Rice. He will need a few months. So they got good news. It is ACL, only that is damaged. They are going to have to do surgery, though, and he will miss the rest of the year. So I know there have been some rumors going around that there will be some good news. Maybe he comes back. But they're saying this is the best possible news. They said this year was never really a possibility. So they said this is the best news they could have received. It is not as bad as they thought. So he will be back healthy and ready to go for next season.
But will
is
he
out
be in
for
jail,
the rest of this.
No, it's a real question.
I don't know about jail. There is going to be a suspension coming at some point. I believe the court date is set for December, most likely to get pushed back. There is a weird NFL rule that has to do with injuries and suspensions. Like I believe if you miss a year with an ACL, it's something about you can't be suspended for as soon as you come back. It is a weird rule. We'll dive deeper into that.
They
one,
do it with Ray Rice, but I'm all right. Keep going.
So we'll see. Again, court date is scheduled
They do it with Josh Gordon.
We'll know more. Josh.
He was never
Flash
arrested.
is one of my biggest
He was never
sad
arrested.
stories
He was never
of all
arrested.
time. NFL ruined his career.
He was never arrested. He
They
was just smoking.
ruined his career.
Man,
for
Flash
him.
ruined his career.
They,
I'm never going to forgive you, Flash. I'm never going to forgive you.
so we have
Hope you're doing well.
Chiefs again in action tonight. We will get to them a little bit later. But Rashee Rice, who was on my IR, will now be dropped
Well,
from my
can we
team.
back to this Niners game? Just one last thing. They're 0-3 in the division.
Oh,
That's scary. Like I've never seen this. Like they're 0-3 in the NFC West.
could be one of those weird years, like Matthew said, maybe where the
Like,
Niners aren't in contention. It would be weird recently.
But that's nasty work.
It's nasty work.
But I mean, if anybody can pull it off, it is them. I've seen them do miraculous things.
I'm not too worried about it. I think they'll be okay.
Okay.
I think they'll be okay. I think McCaffrey. I'm not saying I'm
coming back,
optimistic
man.
on McCaffrey, but I think
McCaffrey ain't coming
we're gonna
back.
get him in November. I think he'll be back in November.
I
It's
don't
not
think
good
so.
for my fantasy team, but it'll be good for your Niners.
I don't trust the
by
Rams,
then.
so that's why I'm still high on San Fran. I don't trust the Rams.
He getting that overseas
He
treatment.
getting that
Rams been competitive
He getting
last
that
year,
Kobe and Gilbert Arenas.
Well, let's keep it rolling now with Sunday Night Football. I don't know if you guys stayed up for this one. An hour and a half delay.
I did.
9:45 kickoff between Pittsburgh and Dallas, and it came down to the wire. Another great game on Sunday. Fourth and goal with 20 seconds. Dak Prescott finds Jalen Tolbert on the mesh route there across the middle for the game-winning touchdown. Tolbert finishes with 7 catches, 87 yards, had the game-winning touchdown. Justin Fields struggled early, kind of got going late, 130 yards on 27 attempts for 2 touchdowns, did rush for 27 yards. He's 2-28 when the defense allows 20 or more points in his career. Guys, a heartbreaker for Pittsburgh fans there if you're a Steeler fan last night.
Thank you, Dallas.
But that was a talk about the Ravens. But let's talk about the Dallas Cowboys here as the focal point, just because we're a show on TV, and that's kind of, I feel like, what you have to do or you're obliged to do. A game winner from Dak, guys. Matthew, I want to get your opinion here. CD kind of, okay game, but they found it late. Rico Dowdle seems to be going in the run game. A few weeks ago, we weren't sure if Dallas was a playoff team.
Thank you, Rico.
They got a few late wins here the last 2 weeks. The schedule is daunting. I'll talk about that here going forward in just a second. Yep. But your takeaways for the Cowboys, again, a few weeks ago, we were wondering if they were going to make the playoffs. How do you feel about them now after that win last night?
I think they're just trying to figure out what they're good at, which is a crazy statement to make when you have a lot of personnel that's been there for a couple of years. But, I mean, Rico, they need Rico. Like, I think that's evident.
Rico Suave.
They need him. They need he works great on screens. They need him for those electric plays he can make. They really can't afford to go to what I think they thought they were going to do, which is use Zeke Elliott in a Mike Tolbert goal line, Gus Edwards red
That's
zone
a name,
type.
Mike Tolbert. God.
Yeah, like this guy's not a touchdown vulture at this point anymore. I mean, he's just a guy that he can give you a couple carries and that's it. I think the biggest trouble for the Cowboys will be balancing the ego of CeeDee Lamb with the expectations of Jerry Jones. I think that's the biggest, because Jerry, let's just be honest, Jerry pays the money, but he's going to want certain things. And I don't know. I just think that's going to be a difficult thing because T. Vinces are keying in on Lamb. They just are.
I mean, okay. Yep, I'm just going to say it. CeeDee Lamb ain't really what people make him out to be. Like, he's not. He's not. He's no Michael Irvin, bruh.
Oh, Michael.
Well, yeah, I agree with that.
But like they're making it like he.
He's a top 5 wide receiver in the league.
I don't think he's in the same breath with Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase. I just don't.
Really? Okay.
I don't because
I ain't mad at that.
Because
I disagree.
No, because
but I see what you're saying.
CD takes plays off. He reminds me of Randy Moss when he comes to that, taking plays off. CD does not give full effort every play.
Okay.
And you can watch that. You can see it in every game. That's what I'm saying.
Do you have him top 10?
Yeah, he's definitely. His numbers make that alone. But what I'm saying is, like, if he doesn't get the ball, he pouts. Like, you're a professional, dude.
Oh, yeah.
You're not getting the ball every play on the field. We can't throw
That's
the ball
all
to you.
Receivers, though.
No,
it's
but
all star receivers.
No, but he's really a crybaby.
Oh, Cowboys are known for that.
Like he's really a crybaby. Like him cussing out Dak last night. That was uncalled for.
I didn't even see that.
But at the same time,
he apologized because he did that 2 weeks ago.
But at the same time, though, Dak, bruh, you gotta this was a horrible game. Yeah, you got the yards, but this game was ugly. I watched the game. It was an ugly game.
Ugly game. And I do want to give it a little bit of benefit to the Cowboys offense. I think that Steelers defense is very, very good. They were at home. Shout out to TJ Watt.
And yes, I'm giving Steelers player credit because we respect them.
Might be my favorite player.
We respect them. So I know that TJ Watt is on that.
I think he's even underrated, like you said. I think you brought this up a few weeks ago. He should have been the defensive player of the year.
Like TJ Watt is he's disruptive. Like that's the only way. Even Coach Thomas said they have to stop calling plays at practice. They're trying to run their offense. They got to take him off the field and put it in his backup so they can get their plays ran through on offense. They can actually see what the play looks like because he blows up everything, even in practice.
So let me ask you guys about the Cowboys. You guys more encouraged? I mean, it was a win for the Cowboys.
No,
they
didn't do
They turned the ball over 3 times, and the Steelers can't find a way to win this.
No, it didn't do anything for me. The thing is now, right? Fields gave Pittsburgh enough ammunition
That's the question.
to put Russell in the game.
Yeah, so now we're gonna. What do you guys think about that?
He probably Russell Wilson's probably gonna play sooner or later.
Do you have to play him a game though? Since you're this year,
you have to.
Russell, you have to play Russell at least once,
have
I
to.
guess.
Because
but again, you want to get your read on Fields going forward because that's the guy you might be going with.
I wouldn't play him.
You wouldn't play Russell, you're saying?
No.
I'm gonna tell y'all, I love Justin
tough.
Fields. No,
I know, yeah.
I'm gonna tell you why you have to play Russell though. Russell can see things that Justin Fields still can't see yet, just because of experience. Like as far as on the field.
Yeah, no doubt. It's pretty
Now
good
he may not move around as much anymore, but he can make some of those throws where Justin Fields is inaccurate on late in games. Russell makes those same throws. He makes those plays.
Yeah, and again,
that's the difference.
And like you said, and you know, exciting to play whatever. That's what Russell can't do, and obviously Fields can do that.
Russell can throw the ball better in Pickens' catch radius.
I tell you, them boys in Dallas were bad mouthing Pickens after the game. I don't
Like
know if you heard that chirping.
and they shouldn't do that. Like that was uncalled for. Like, but the difference is Russell is a more accurate thrower.
Yeah,
Fields is the
that's
future
true.
of the franchise for sure. I will give you that.
And who knows about that? That's up in the air.
No.
as well.
Mike Tomlin loved Justin Fields.
No. See, here's my thing with Justin Fields. He's been in the league. He's been in the league now. What? 4 years.
4 years.
And I gave you that stat: 2-28 when the defense gives up only 20
Right.
points.
So here's the thing. I'm a firm believer you got to figure out what these guys are. And Justin Fields, there was a lot of things that were going wrong for him in Chicago, a lot of things that were out of his control. And I think it's vitally important that the Steelers at this point find out, is this our future or is this just a placeholder? Because Russell Wilson, you already know what he is.
Yeah, I'm in that boat.
He's going to ride in the sunset with Sierra, playing his little music and coaching little Fucci.
Let's ride.
You know what I mean? That's what
Let's
he's
ride.
going to do.
Coach your little baby future all day.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what he's going to do.
Hall of Famer.
Justin Fields,
yeah,
Hall of
agreed.
Famer.
Agreed.
Justin Fields, you got to find out, is this guy a starter? Is this guy a starter? Because you don't know right now. You just don't. I'm a huge believer in his talent. But that's just it. And that's what's got, if we're being honest, that's why he's still playing in the league right now in his 4th year without no success, is because the league respects his talent.
Or, excuse me. Or should he switch positions?
No.
No, this is a real question.
Hell no. Why would he switch positions?
No, I don't think he should switch positions. But again, I'm with Matt just in the fact that, again, if you're the Steelers, he's in the last year of that rookie contract, right?
What would he switch to?
A wide receiver?
Nah, bro.
But again, to Matthew's point, last year of that contract, so he's a free agent next year. You got to find out maybe if he's the answer or not. Again, that question is still up in the air.
Yeah, you don't know yet.
And to go back, and then we talked about this last year, and we wondered, why isn't anybody giving up a 5th-round pick for this guy? Because nobody would. The Steelers are giving him a 6th-round pick and getting Justin Fields. So that's what they were able to do. Again, like Matthew said, the verdict on Fields is not out yet. The league is still, everybody's trying to figure out what he could or could not be. So we'll see how that goes. Again, just another stat. T.J. Watt became the 2nd fastest player to reach 100 sacks. He did it in just 109 games. Reggie White is the only player to do it faster. He did it in 96 games. Of course, Reggie White, yeah, nobody going to compete with my man Reggie White. And just to quickly here on the Cowboys, guys, listen to these next 6 games for the Dallas. Matthew, ready for this?
Okay, I'm listening.
Next week, Detroit Lions. After that, they have their bye week. And then after that, San Francisco 49ers.
Okay.
Then after that, Atlanta Falcons. Then after that, Philadelphia Eagles. And then after that, the Houston Texans. And then after that, the Washington Commanders with Jaden Daniels. So those next 6 games, they could be the underdog in maybe 4 of them, maybe
nasty.
more.
It's nasty
So that was a huge win for them last night. If they dropped this game last night and they come into this 6-game stretch with another loss,
Yeah, that's nasty work.
I think if you're a Cowboys fan, you're feeling a lot more excited just about getting that victory last night
Without a doubt.
than going forward.
That's nasty.
Now let's run the no huddle here quickly before we get into some basketball on Monday Night Football. Guys,
Yeah.
the Jags ended that skid. 9 losses in a row for Trevor Lawrence and Doug Peterson. That ends on Lawrence's birthday yesterday, 37-34. And again, maybe this is the right stat here. Jags haven't lost to Indianapolis and Jacksonville since 2014. So that was enough to end the skid there. Your thoughts on the Jaguars and Indianapolis, those 2 teams that we have to worry about at all this year?
No. And Trevor Lawrence is not a guy.
I mean,
Bust.
that contract in June is looking brutal so
B-U-S-T.
far.
I said
I'm not going to say a bust, but
I-
he's
Yeah,
not
I
a
can
guy.
say a bust. Doug
He's not a
Peterson,
guy.
though, again, odds right now leads Vegas in odds to be fired first. But that win yesterday will help. We'll
Reason
see.
why I call him a bust. Y'all proclaim this guy was Jesus.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
coming out.
They,
He was the highest rated QB prospect in
since
high school.
Andrew Luck and
Highest
Peyton
rated
Manning.
QB prospect.
That's right.
Coming in
Yeah.
the NFL.
Sunshine. That's
Yeah.
right.
Sunshine was that. I mean, to me, and just for everybody to be clear, when I say a guy's not a guy, to be clear, because I know there's going to be people, what do you mean? There's only 3 guys that are a guy in the league to me.
And quarterback, you're
And
saying.
quarterback.
I have 3 too. Let's see.
And that's Mahomes, Jackson, and Allen.
Yep,
it.
that's my 3. Yeah,
That's
right
it.
on.
When I say a guy, I'm talking about like he's franchise, whatever he wants.
Not
to
Joe
get.
Burrow?
No.
Yeah, I don't know if it's close.
I'm not a believer
it's
in
so
Joe
close.
Burrow.
And again,
I believe Herbert more than I believe
And when you
Burrow.
think about those other guys,
okay.
I want to throw it
Right.
out here, and we're going to get off topic a little bit. How do you guys feel about that Matthew Stafford? I mean, the last time we saw him healthy with a full
He's a
roster,
gunslinger.
they won the Super
He's a
Bowl.
gunslinger.
He hasn't been healthy. They haven't had a healthy team since they won the Super Bowl.
Look, I respect what Matt Stafford's done. I mean,
Listen, Stafford got like what? He got like 60,000 yards
yeah,
career.
like, he's dealing with what? He went from Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp
Yeah.
to having
Jordan Whittington,
Was it
Tyler Johnson,
Tutu
Atwell, yeah.
Packinson. Like, I mean, I respect what he's doing, man.
Yeah,
But-
Sean McVay's a hell of a coach.
and I think Stroud is like a man on deck. Like he's a guy that's
proven that.
like
He's proven that.
he's
I don't know,
getting there.
But the tough part for him now this year is obviously he has maybe you talked about best receiving core. He could have the
Yeah.
best, those 3 with Tank, Nico,
Yeah.
and Diggs. So again, to Matt's point, and again, hopefully we don't have to, but if he can win a Super Bowl, those guys, later down the road, we're going to say, oh, he had those 3 guys. So again, the verdict's going to be out. But we all knew how CJ was last year and in college coming in. So not a big question marks there. Dolphins beat the Patriots. Patriots, ugly game, 15-10. Brissett, horrible once again. Coach Gerard Mayo saying next week could finally be the week. They've been trying to hold out on these defenses to not get Drake May killed with that poor offensive line. So maybe this week they
know what
said
that tells
could be
me?
the week.
That tells me that they know they ain't got a guy. Just gonna say it.
And you're saying Drake May?
Yeah,
I
that
think,
lets me know.
I don't know. If
You
that's, I think
scared.
they're scared. Well, they are scared because
You scared.
Well,
you took him with
he's
a
going to get
top
killed.
3
That's
pick.
why.
You took him with a top 3 pick, and you scared.
You got the worst offensive line in the league. You watch through the first 3 weeks. I mean, they have no.
I'm gonna tell you like an old pimp
no
told me.
talent.
I'm gonna tell you like an old pimp told me. If you're scared to bring your women around the players, then you ain't ever had that woman. And I'm gonna tell you right now, they know they don't got a guy, and that's why they've been keeping Drake May away from them defenses.
Hopefully they deploy.
They know.
him this
They
week,
saw it in
'cause
practice.
I would have played him. I mean, I wouldn't have
Gerard
played him.
Mayo said like this.
What? Wait, what?
I disagree. This week is the week
No,
I think he
no.
does.
I like that.
That's what Gerard Mayo said in practice. He was like,
But here's the thing, though.
And then we have a clip here from this game.
Brissett has never been a starter. Like he's not.
No.
He's
No.
a stopgap
But
for
that's
about 4 or
and
5
that's what
games.
they,
This
and
is
they
what
did
he
this
is.
on purpose. Yeah, so I
not
agree
even
with
a
that. They did this on
placeholder.
purpose.
Stop.
Here's the call from the no touchdown of the Patriots and Dolphins game from yesterday. Dennis has it. Check this one out, guys. It's my guy Jalen Polk, dynasty draft pick. And again, they called this a non-touchdown. Ended up costing the Patriots the game here into this one. Let's have a better
you
look
get the
at
1
it.
foot. It's the 2nd foot.
Oh!
That's a touchdown.
I say it's a
They're gonna say
touchdown.
he didn't complete the catch.
He did though.
I think so. But
His
that's what
toe hit the ground before the heel did.
That's what they're gonna say.
You know,
I don't know.
the problem is though, with the toe, right? He didn't peel up the.
The heel?
No, he didn't pull up the black stuff in the turf. How you saw
the beads.
the beads came up when that toe, he did a touchdown.
Yeah,
I mean, no, that's honestly what probably would have sealed it.
and again, no takeaways from this game at all. It was an ugly
that's what
matchup,
y'all
and hopefully
get.
you didn't have to watch
Hold
it.
on, but that's what y'all get, Patriots, because y'all called Lee Evans' catch in 2011 changed the game.
Lee Evans,
not a catch when he played for Baltimore. So
All right, we got to roll
karma.
and keep rolling here. Jason, this one's
go.
for you. Giants beat the Seahawks 29-20. Seahawks cost you. They cost me. Tyrone Tracy, 129 yards, 257, 2 touchdowns. Daniel Jones, 4th straight game where he's looked pretty good. Brian
Better than
Daboll's
Jared
doing
Goff.
Brian Daboll's doing a pretty good coaching job over
Better
there.
than Jared Goff.
Quick thoughts on Giants Seahawks.
next.
There you go. Let's roll it on, Matthew. The Packers beat the Rams. The Rams are dealing with all these injuries, Matthew. I don't know how they're staying competitive in these games. They get a big win last week and the upset win, and now they get made this one close with the Packers, who once again just seem to let them a little while to get going. You still high on the Packers?
I am. And in Dynasty, everybody needs to go out there and pick up Tyler Kraft, man. He's getting targeted.
That's all right. South Dakota State Jackrabbit.
Targeted.
Tried to see him tear up the heads in the playoffs a few years ago. Tucker Kraft, a big tight end. Guys, the rookie quarterbacks, though, are on a roll. Jayden Daniels, Bo Nix, and Caleb Williams have now combined for 10 wins already this year, the second most by rookie quarterbacks in a season since 1970 through the first 5 weeks. Daniels is just the third rookie all-time to win 4 of his first 5 starts. Did it the first one since Dak Prescott back in 2016, but a short list that he's on. And Caleb, the first to win 3 home starts since Tua and Russell Wilson. Another short list there, guys. Rookie quarterbacks, though, we love the class, and they continue to perform pretty well. We'll see if that can continue. But, guys, Jayden Daniels, is it possible that he could win the MVP?
No, Rookie of the Year.
I'm with you. I'm actually glad you guys said that. I did not expect you to, but I'm glad you did. Let's keep moving on to Devontae Adams, his future. Antonio Pierce and the Raiders announced it today. They're more likely to get that trade done sooner rather than later. Here are the odds up there. Jets, the favorites at plus 130. And then I don't know how about this, but the Ravens, second in Vegas at plus 250, plus 300 for the Saints, plus 650 for the Steelers, and plus 900 for the Commanders. That's your top 5 options. Devontae Adams posting the picture of Edgar Allan Poe.
Yes. Devontae has been singing Lamar Jackson's praises with the last 2 years.
He's like spinning like all mischievous.
He's gonna be
like he's thinking of a master plan. Like
Devontae Adams will be a Baltimore Raven. It will take a second-round draft pick, a player in cash.
That's a McCall has seen the future. We know that.
Yeah,
we're gonna get him a segment on that.
They're gonna want first.
No,
if I'm the Raiders, I'm getting it first.
I would give up a second-round pick, and
not worth it.
And maybe if we had to give up tight end, I'll give up Kohler.
Most fun one for me here, guys, is I'm going to go with, and again, an Eagles fan.
Like and go nowhere.
Commanders. I think if he goes to the Commanders, I think that'd be a cool spot with Jayden Daniels for the rest of the season.
I don't know what we're doing here. I ain't doing it. Got to be a number 1 pick.
Got to be a number 1 pick. All right, well, let's keep it rolling here because this one is for Matthew. We had some debuts in the NBA over the weekend. The preseason has gotten started with the around the corner for the season coming up here in just a little bit, Matthew. Let's get some videos. Bronny making his debut with the Lakers, highly anticipated. We got some footage from these highlights. So initially here, Matthew, what was going through your head kind of watching Bronny make his debut here for the Lakers?
That's what's going through my head the whole time. I don't get it. I don't like it. He mid, Look, man. Shout out to the trust fund, man.
There goes LeBron making his presence felt early there.
I mean, it's a cool story. It is.
But let me ask you this. Watching it, it kind of just had a weird feel to it, at least for me, watching Brownie in this game. Matthew, once we get some of these highlights finished up, we're going to get you solo. I want to get your thoughts on Bronny, what you think he might do this year, and is he going to be more of a G League player here this season for the Lakers, or LeBron going to have him up hanging out with the big guys, the big dogs here this year?
I mean, I don't know, man. LeBron is all over the place. I think, look, whether LeBron's been talking this, he's going to play for 4 years. I don't know if I believe that. He's got to know at some point his body's going to start breaking down. Like, he always looks good in the beginning of the season. Then by the mid of the season, he starts to get wear and tear a little bit. Yeah. So, look, man, right now, I think, he's going to say that Bronny's going to play all year. But I think, realistic, he should be down in the G League. He should be down in the G League right now. Yeah. Shouldn't even been drafted. But,
How about this? He's going to start the season, opening night because it looks good for the TV. Going to sit down to the South Bay Lakers, come back up for Christmas. Like all the big primetime games, Bron's going to be on the roster for. That's what they're going to do with him. Like, I think because it's Vegas, because it's LA and it's glamour and glitz, I think that's going to be the strategy.
Look, man.
I mean,
this is disgusting.
I'm not saying it's right.
It's so disgusting.
I'm not saying that's what I think it's going to be.
So disgusting.
Can you see that scenario happen?
I can see it. Unfortunately, I can't see
all the big primetime games, Bron's in the court because they want to see the father-son aesthetic duo.
Now, I want to ask you guys this question before we move on here to the next really quickly. Does Bronny score 10 NBA points in a single game? In the season? No, the season. Does he have 10?
Oh, they're going to feed him to make sure.
Yeah, that's the difference than trying to score.
In the season, that's a low bar.
Well, you got to determine how many minutes you think he's going to play anyway. I don't think it's going to be.
I think they're going to force it.
You really do?
Oh yeah, I think they're going to force it. I mean, LeBron is running LA. Pretty much, whatever they want.
If you put him on the floor, the more you put him on the floor, the more I think he has a chance of getting exposed. And I think if you do that,
happened.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think it's going to continue to happen. I think the more it happens, the more so everything builds up. It's going to take him down pretty early.
He'll get exposed more on offense than he will on defense, though.
Oh, yeah, no doubt, absolutely.
To his credit.
Well, that's just from being a natural, athlete in that.
But the thing is, though, Bronny has for Bronny to stay on court, he has to develop a consistent corner
be a 3
three.
and D, maybe 3 and D player.
No. Corner three. Nothing but corner three.
And that's where he kind of been, hanging out if you were watching him. And
He's a
doing
corner
lot of that
three.
stuff. So we'll see if we can develop that. Quickly now, guys, Cat
disgusting,
and
man.
Bridges, though, making their debut in the New York Knicks.
It's the Knicks.
There you go. Knicks moved up, way up those charts to win it. Let's go. Monday Night Football, Saints and Chiefs. Chiefs minus 5.5, 43 over under. Chiefs have been very banged up all season long. Trying to get the offense rolling was just Worthy, Kelsey, and some of those other guys, Justin Watson, going forward. Let's get your predictions for this one with the Chiefs giving 5.5 points here before we get in the over-unders anytime touchdowns. How do you guys see this one going?
Saints win the game.
Saints win the game. He's been pretty good, Matthew, here on prime time. What do you think?
I'm going to go with Chiefs.
You take the 5.5?
No, I think it'll be close.
I think the Chiefs win. Don't cover. Chiefs win. Bucker maybe a field goal late. It's going to have to be the defense stepping up for Kansas City. Kind of what we saw last year. Mahomes with his worst numbers through the first 5 games of the season in touchdowns, interceptions, completion percentage, you name it. We'll see if we can get back going. But the defense is going to have to step up. So that'll do it for us here tonight. Anytime touchdowns before we close out. Hurry up.
Kamara.
Give me Jonas Gray.
How about that? O'Gray getting in the end zone. And you know what? Give me Chris Olave again for back-to-back weeks. We will see you next time.